Hi, Tana Marshall here with your Feel Good Friday message. And today I want to talk to you about taking responsibility for your own health. My personal feeling is that these days we run to the doctor for every little thing way too often. There are so many natural remedies out there, and sometimes things just need a chance to heal on their own. A lot of times your body just needs to rest. Sometimes you just need to slow down and sleep and allow your body to heal naturally. Drugs are usually just a band-aid and cover up your symptoms and don't really heal you. And natural healing takes a little bit longer because it's real healing. But, that's what I'm so passionate about because I'm a holistic consultant and I've been so focused on this for so many years. And I thought I would tell you why. If you're not familiar with my story, I was diagnosed with lupus when I was 15. It was 2 weeks into my summer vacation and I just got really sick one day. And I spent the whole summer taking tests. It wasn't fun. And after all that testing, they diagnosed me with lupus erythematosus, which is the form of lupus that affects all of your internal organs, not the skin one, fortunately. And during the summer, because I had been so fatigued and I developed arthritis, but I also lost my appetite, I went back to school thin and tan because I was at my neighbor's pool every day, just laying out there and relaxing. So that was one positive, but I just kind of got used to it. This was my new reality and it was difficult to move. Everything hurt. I walked with a limp. I had a hard time on the stairs at school. I couldn't open the refrigerator door with one hand. I needed two. I couldn't pick up a milk carton with one hand. I needed two. It was really painful to just turn over in bed. Being cold was excruciating. My parents did everything they could to help me and make me more comfortable. They got me a heater for my room. That was before we had central air. And they actually got me a TV with a remote control because, believe it or not, I had a TV that had no remote control from the 60s that had been there my whole life. So that was really nice. And over the years, I just continued to get better. I didn't really dwell on this illness. It was just there. It was just part of my reality. And my friends were always really understanding about it because when you're 15, you're running around like crazy. And I had to keep telling my friends, slow down, slow down. And slumber parties were really excruciating. Sleeping on the floor is not fun when you have really bad arthritis throughout your whole body. But as I said, it continued to get better over the years until I was 18, and after my high school graduation, I was working at a local flower store. And it's a chain that's, I don't know if it's anywhere outside of California. I won't name the name. But it's usually on a corner. It's very open. And it's all cement and brick, and you're standing in the refrigerator showing people arrangements. So it's very cold. And this happened to be a particularly cold winter for LA. And I know that compared to other places, that's nothing. But when you live here and you've grown up with warmer weather, anything colder just feels more severe. And this one particular day, I was having such a hard time, and I used to wear pantyhose under my jeans to keep me warmer. And the 80s kind of blessed me with fingerless gloves being in style because they were perfect for me and very functional because they kept my hands warm while allowing me dexterity. And unfortunately, the owners of the flower shop said, that's not part of the uniform. And I'm like, what uniform? Anyway, I couldn't wear them. But this one day, I became more and more immobile as the day went on. I actually had to call my father and ask him to bring me extra aspirin. I used to take 15 arthritis strength Bufferin a day. 5 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, 5 at night, and fish oil pills just so that I could continue moving and functioning. So he brought me extra pills and a jacket. And by the time I got off that night, I couldn't move my hands. I couldn't even bend my fingers. And again, I was walking with a limp, and I had a stick shift at the time. I had a bug, so I'm steering with the steering wheel like this and trying to do the gear shift with just one hand, not bent. And it was really difficult and excruciating. And I was wearing a turtleneck, and when I got home, I couldn't lift my elbows above my shoulders, and my mom wasn't there to help me, and I wasn't going to have my dad help me. And I eventually got undressed, and the next day I went to the doctor, and he made me quit the job, and he put me on steroids and Darvon. And after spending a week in a drugged out stupor, I thought, I don't like this. I don't want this anymore. This is not how I want to live. This is not how I want to treat this if I have a problem in the future. So I stopped taking the drugs, and I immediately started researching health and natural remedies and natural methods of healing and alternative therapies. And that's what got me started on this. So I have been doing this since I was 18. That was many years ago. But this is why I'm so passionate about it, because my health continued to improve as I studied more about nutrition and supplements and herbs and energy work. That's when I got really into energy work, because it's really powerful. And eventually I became a massage therapist. And then years down the line, after doing a lot of studying on my own, I found this program to become a certified holistic health practitioner, which was perfect for me. So I learned even more, and I applied everything that I learned to myself. I tried everything because I wanted to have experiential knowledge to share with my clients. Now, during this time, this is kind of interesting. I was just about finished with my holistic health practitioner program. And it was 2008, and it was around the time that Eckhart Tolle's book, A New Earth, came out. I'm sure some of you are familiar with it. He also wrote The Power of Now. He's an amazing spiritual teacher. And Oprah loved this book, A New Earth, so much that she had an online class. It's kind of a precursor to what she's doing now. It's kind of interesting. And I participated in this online class. It was 8 or 10 weeks long, I think. But I will tell you, this one moment in the class, Eckhart Tolle is talking about how we identify ourselves, what we identify ourselves with. Often it's the role we play in our family. You know, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a wife, I'm an aunt, I'm a caregiver. It could be your occupation. You know, are you a marketer? Are you a salesperson? Are you administrator? Whatever. You know, I'm a coach. I'm a healer. So these things all play a role in your life. And as he was talking about that, for the first time, I realized that I had been identifying myself with lupus ever since I was diagnosed. And I knew that I could cure it. I know everything is curable. One of the very first spiritual books I ever read was Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life. And it's got her story in there about how she cured herself of cancer. And I've read and seen numerous stories about people doing the same naturally through nurturing their body and healing it with foods and I'm not going to even go into some of the other methods, but it's possible to do it naturally. And I knew that. But I consciously hung on to this illness because the only remnant of when I was younger, the remaining problem was fatigue. And I would get fatigued very often. And whenever I started a new job or got a new boss, it's one of the first things I would tell them, you know, look, I have lupus. There are days when I cannot get out of bed. And if I call you and tell you I can't get out of bed, it's the truth. And I haven't gone to the beach, although the beach would have helped me feel better. But that's my point, is that was what I extended first to people. Okay, this is who I am and this is what I'm all about. And I didn't want to cure it because what would I blame the fatigue on? I needed it, otherwise I would be viewed as lazy or unproductive if I needed to rest. And fortunately, this Eckhart Tolle class just made something switch in my brain. I felt it. I felt a click in my brain, in my consciousness, and in my entire being. And so the next day I went to the doctor, had her test my blood, and she called me a few days later and she said, your blood is totally normal. You don't have lupus anymore. And I felt so elated and empowered, and I felt healthier than ever. And I also realized I am a human being. I'm not a machine. If I'm tired, I'm allowed to rest. We are not meant to push ourselves the way that society and corporate America expects you to push yourself all the time and be accessible 24/7. We were not meant to operate that way. I really wish that we would take a clue from other countries and incorporate an afternoon nap, because that would benefit everybody so much more than more caffeine or more sugar to keep yourself going in the afternoon. But that's a whole other video. So I was able to let go of it, and I felt so good, and I didn't feel the need for it anymore. And ironically, I just felt better than ever. I really didn't get fatigue very much anymore. And now I still get the occasional cold, but I understand where it's coming from. And I highly recommend that you pick up Louise Hay's book. If you don't have it, You Can Heal Your Life. It's an amazing book with great tools to really change your life. You can heal your life. And in the back of the book, she's got this amazing resource of just about every physical ailment that you can think of, ailment, condition, the mental and emotional cause that's most likely behind it, behind the manifestation of it, and then an affirmation to help you balance yourself out and get yourself back on track. But I'm telling you, every time I injure myself or I get sick, I run to that book and I look it up, and inevitably it applies to what's going on in my life. And I'll just give you a quick example. When you get a cold, there's usually congestion involved, and that usually means that you are overwhelmed. You've got too much on your plate, you're too stressed out, there's just too much going on. And that's always what happens with me. I will get sick when I'm too stressed out and have too much on my plate. And so I try to keep an even keel most of the time, but you know how it is. Things get out of hand once in a while, and we get busy, and we have to find that balance and get ourselves back on track. But I really encourage people to do their research and get as much information as you can if you have a health issue, and even if you don't, if something's going on, go online and do some research. And my favorite resource is Dr. Joseph Mercola's website, mercola.com, MERCOLA.com. There is a wealth of information there about anything that you can imagine health related, and also how the government and the FDA are involved in your health, and food companies and agricultural business, the way that's happening in the country right now, that's not always to your benefit. So it's a great resource, and you can find just about anything that you're looking for. He's also got great products, and I trust him implicitly, and there are a lot of supplements that I buy just from him because I trust him in the quality of the products that he makes available. And I just want to share with you real quick, many of you know that I'm my mother's full-time caregiver, and she has type 2 diabetes, dementia, congestive heart failure, arthritis. I don't know if I'm forgetting anything. Anyway, she obviously has been on the receiving end of all of my holistic knowledge. And so she takes a lot of supplements in addition to her prescription drugs, which I'm not thrilled about, but fortunately her doctor's on board with me and trying to minimize them, not add any, subtract what we can, and just maintain her health. And between how I have her eating, I put her on a gluten-free diet a few months ago, and she just effortlessly lost 20 pounds. I have her eating coconut oil every day. I have her taking specific supplements for her brain, for her heart. Her health has been improving continuously. The doctor wants to see her less and less often, and the doctor was pretty much blown away last time we saw her, which was just last week. Mom's A1C number, which if you don't know what that is, that's a measurement of your blood sugar, and her level was 5.7. Now somebody without diabetes is 5.9. So she's doing incredible, and it's exciting to me to see the results of how I'm caring for her have such a benefit on her. We started her on physical therapy recently, and now she's getting more exercise, and it's just little small things, but it's making a huge difference in her mobility and her balance and her stability. So no matter how old you are, you can create better health. There's always a way back. There's always a way to find balance, and that's what you want to do. When something's not right, you're out of balance somewhere. So figure out if it's mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and find what's going to bring you back into balance, because it's so important to take responsibility for your own health, because no one really knows you like you. And when you get in tune with your body and you recognize what's going on, and you can get yourself back on track more quickly, it's really empowering. Let me tell you, it's really empowering. So I know this went a little bit long today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, please subscribe to my channel on YouTube, or forward to a friend that you might think will find this information helpful. And if you need any help getting your health back on track, I've done it with myself, I've done it with my mom, I've done it with clients. I love doing this. I love helping people find their own answers, whether it's energetically, emotionally, spiritually, or physically. So I want to help you. If you need some help, jump on over to my website, TanaMarshall.com, and see what I have available to help you. So with that, I want to wish you a very healthy weekend. Enjoy, and I'll see you next week.